can't see the higher plane where we could be operating from. Tune in to Leslie Fontaine, Sheer Alchemy on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
Wow. Hey, everybody. It is so great to be connecting with all of you. I am so excited. I have been waiting for this moment where I get to introduce all of you to my amazing co-host today for the show. And you know what she has created. It is groundbreaking, to say the least. Cultural brilliance. And we're going to give you lots of information about this. You're going to hear more about it. This is like an idea whose time has come. So I want to make sure for all of you out there that you can find out more about Claudette. Claudette, I just want to ask you a couple questions. What is the best way for people to find out more about you, and how can they contact you directly?
Thanks so much, Pat. So if you want to find out more about me, my website is ClaudetteRowley.com, which is ClaudetteRowley.com. And phone number, if you want to contact me directly, 781-538-6616.
Yeah. And by the way, if you all go to her website, what you're going to see is, if you click on the Cultural Brilliance tab up there, what you're going to see is the model. And also the image for today's show that you're looking at is the model that I keep referring to around cultural brilliance. Lots of information is going to be provided to all of you. And cultural brilliance is, of course, when you hear us talk about it, it is the combination of authenticity, design, and integration. And this is a fabulous radio series that you're going to hear much more about. You know, Claudette, here, this is what I'm excited about. Listen up. Listen up. Who knew that we would be talking about listen up when we're talking about cultural intelligence, the tapestry of success? But this is part of the dynamic that you pinpoint here, right?
Absolutely. We absolutely have to listen to culture. That's part of the understanding the cultural intelligence. We have to listen to other people. And what I find is that a lot of times leaders and organizations are really not listening very carefully to what people are telling them. And so I love this idea, is the saying, slow down to speed up, which many people have talked about over the last couple of decades, especially in our environment, which is not slowing down at all, right? It's getting faster and faster. That there are times when we as individuals or teams or whole organizations need to temporarily slow down and really, really listen to what's going on. Listen very carefully to what people are saying versus what you want to hear. So really have this intention to understand, seek to understand what people are saying about culture. And as you talk to people throughout an organization at all levels and all different departments and units, they have so much to tell you about their culture. They all, if you put them all together, they have the whole story right there. And often, especially leaders or the senior leadership team, only want to hear certain things.
Right.
They don't want to hear what everyone has to say. They only want to hear what fits their mold or make things easier for them.
Well, you and I have been on those leadership teams. That's how we know about this.
Exactly.
Uh-oh, cat's out of the bag.
Right.
But we
Absolutely.
learned some things from this, right? I mean, you and I are here today because somewhere along the way to becoming who we are today in the world, right? We've learned a few things. And this idea of listen up is something that you're very passionate about. I know it, right?
Absolutely. Listening is the foundation, if we really think about it, in terms of any communication that's going on, whether that's receiving communication or expressing it outwardly. Listening is the foundation of everything else that we do. We can't communicate effectively if we're not listening. We can't understand if we're not listening. So listening really is primary, and I believe it's a massive part of cultural intelligence to listen up to what people are saying, what they think, what they feel, what they've experienced, how it impacts them, how it impacts the organization, how it impacts the bottom line, how it impacts productivity. I think there's a direct connection, if you're able to take it out step by step, between listening and how successful an organization is. How much have they listened to their people? Because their people have answers to lots of their problems.
Yeah. I want to ask you about something that I know that I've been curious about. And, any of the models I've ever seen when it comes to organizational culture are not really in the understanding how people change and what new environments are and how to even interpret what people hear. And one of the things I did want to ask you about is this idea of understanding. I know Stephen Covey goes through great lengths to talk about, there's one form of listening and then there's understanding. Mm-hmm. How does that factor in to what you're saying here about the ability of somebody to listen up?
Absolutely. Listening up includes understanding how people experience change, what's going on for them. So it could be, anytime we're in a new environment, we're in a new culture. And I'm saying could be changes that we really want to see happening. These could be changes that we don't want to see happening, whatever the case may be. Even positive change, people are going to feel uncomfortable. They might feel out of control. They may not have all the information they need. And they may not even change jobs. They may not even gone through a merger or acquisition. It could just be that their organization is changing. And I think one of the things that a lot of leaders and organizations fail to take into account is that anytime you make a significant change in your organization, you are shifting your organizational culture.
Yeah.
You're shifting your culture.
I want to bring this up because I'm a little dumbfounded here today. You and I had talked about LinkedIn, and then what is it? A week now? We just read about Microsoft buying up LinkedIn. Now that's a mega change, correct?
It is. It is.
Now you and I don't know enough about their cultures to know change from what to what, but it's still a change. That is the kind of change that happens every day nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. And yet we read about it and we say, $28 billion, blah, blah, blah. But there are people involved in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, one of the things that's really nice that we've seen so far about the Microsoft LinkedIn situation is this really great letter that the Microsoft CEO sent out, talking about things like that the LinkedIn organization is going to retain its own culture within Microsoft. And there are really specific reasons for that. He talks about that both cultures have a lot of the same attributes. They both care deeply about individual and collective growth. They both find meaning in the work they do to make a difference in the world. So who knows what will really happen down the line, right? And right now, what we hear is that these are two organizations that really, really respect each other. And they believe that coming together is going to really impact both of them, not only in terms of the financial side of things and the product side of things, and of course that's part of it, and the growth side of things, but it also sounds like they believe and really respect both of their cultures and that their cultures can impact each other positively. So this is a really refreshing approach that we don't often see.
I know. And, the refreshing approach, though, is also part of what you're talking about here when we're talking today about cultural intelligence and this idea of it being the tapestry of success. Because this idea of tapestry means, and, we're into the weaving of it. Now we're going to talk about that. I know we're going to talk about that later in the show. But one of the things you said, which I find fascinating, is here we are, new environment. And somebody over there was, shall we use the word bright, since we're talking about brilliance, to figure out this is not your everyday, ordinary merger, right? Mm-hmm. Because that is what this is, so to speak, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. It is a merger, and it's not your ordinary everyday merger. Absolutely. You have two really innovative companies coming together in a different way and looking at it differently. I think honoring the people in a different way, being able to say things like, that the reporting structure isn't changing. The CEO of LinkedIn will remain the CEO of LinkedIn. So we see historically that some really famous mergers and acquisitions haven't gone very well. They didn't even have that figured out yet.
Yeah. That is huge, what you just talked about. We're going to take a break. And, when we come back, we're going to actually talk about this. We're going to talk about emergent cultures. What does that mean? And, Claudette is kind of like talking about it here as where the possibilities are with that. But what does an organization have to uncover? How do they look at what's underneath the surface? But I will tell you, in the school of thought around cultures, the famous iceberg gets presented. And anyone you ever want to talk about, any kind of consultant, they're pointing to the top part. They're talking about the dilemma underneath. But I got to tell you, Claudette Rowley has figured this out. The missing link is what we're talking about today. We're going to take a short break, everyone. Get ready for this. Are you ready? Are you ready to tap in to your culture's intelligence and do it with honor, respect, and results? We'll be right back.
Awaken to your radiant, authentic self. For over 15 years, Soul Purpose Advocate Nancy Monson has been focused on leading change in the lives of those looking to live their true purpose. She is devoted to supporting people in living a soul-directed life every day. Let Nancy help you overcome fear, worry, and doubt. Visit everydayspirituality.com to learn how Nancy can be your Soul Purpose Advocate.
What is a brilliant culture and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you design a culture that thrives. Whether you want to increase your business's success or create a more engaged, unified workforce, Claudette can help. We cannot thrive in a toxic environment. Learn how to create change with cultural brilliance and Claudette Rowley. To learn more or to work with Claudette, visit ClaudetteRowley.com.
Francine Vale is a being of light. She believes that all people of planet Earth are as well. As co-host of the Angel Healer radio show, Francine teaches you heart-centered ways to manifest healing on your own behalf and how to integrate love more fully into your daily life. Connect with your angels as you find your life flowing with ease and harmony. Walk the path of light with Francine and Dr. Pat Basili every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Tune in to the Angels and Answers Psychic Radio Show with clairvoyants Artie Hoffman and Sky Siegel every Thursday for a 2-hour show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Artie and Sky deliver spiritual and motivational messages with passion and a sense of humor. Call in 800-930-2819 for live and on-air readings. Visit artiehoffman.com and skyofangels.com.
Get ready to rid yourself of all that is weighing you down and holding you back from living the life you want for yourself. Coming Clean, The Art of Transparency with Catherine Moss is a hit show for women in recovery who are ready to live life on purpose. Tune in and let Catherine help you live your truth one day at a time. Live each Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Have you ever tried to make lifestyle changes but had difficulty following through? Imagine what it would be like to get up each morning with energy, clarity, and motivation to tackle the day. If you want to get past limiting barriers that are preventing you from living your best life, join holistic health and wellness coach